on YouTube. It's the day after the mapping, so we've got a few jobs to do now to try and get the car ready. The things we're looking at doing are changing the oil, oil filter, putting in a thermostat, checking for a couple of oil leaks. We've got a leak by the pressure switch and the temperature switch, refilling with the coolant and bleeding it all off, and then obviously sticking some fresh oil in, and then it's time to go for a drive. So this is the replacement thermostat that we've got from eBay, everyone's favourite marketplace. This is from Conceptua Tuning, or a decent UK company, specialising in Japanese stuff. And they also send you sweets, which is always good. So this is a cool running thermostat, the idea being that it opens a lower temperature than the original one, so as you can see there, it says there 71, if that'll focus, it says there 71 degrees, so that opens up at 11 degrees less than the standard one. It's common practice as well to drill a sort of 3mm hole in the side here just to bleed a little bit more water through, which I think I'm going to do first, just to try and again further help things, so we'll get that done now. This is our thermostat, so we're going to put a hole in here in the opposite side to where the other one is. So as you can see, we've now got a 3mm hole in the opposite side to where that is, so now we need to get the coolant drained and get this fitted. The area we're going to aim to let the water out is there, the bottom radiator hose, and then the thermostat goes in this housing here where that joint is there. So let's get the water out. So we've got the water drained out the bottom, so now what we're going to look at is taking off the top water hose and getting to the thermostat. Excuse all this sharp edges and cutting here, we just did this so we could check the timing while we were on the rollers. That'll get changed out for the proper one shortly. That's where the thermostat sits. This is the thermostat housing there. We'll obviously give that a clean out, and your thermostat sits like that. Once it's all cleaned up, the thermostat sits in like that. As you can see, it sits nice and flush, and then the other end sits on top. We've already put some gasket on there. Now it's just a case of bolting this one back up with the thermostat in place. So one of the reasons for installing the thermostat is, as the car was warming up or coming on boost, the temperature gauge was rising. It wasn't getting really hot, but it was not staying as cool as we'd have liked. After internet research, like everyone does, it seemed to be a general consensus that not having a thermostat once your car's warmed up can actually cause it to run hotter. And the reason is that the water's circulating around the engine so fast, it can't take the heat away from the engine itself, and then once it's in the radiator, it's not in there long enough to expel the heat that it carries. We've got the thermostat all changed, we've drained all the coolant, now we're going to drain the oil. When the oil's out, we'll fix the oil leaks. So the oil I'm going to be putting back in is the competition running in oil. The idea is to do some road miles before we go back on the dyno, so we'll stick some more of this in and then do the filter, and then that bit should be ready to go, just the oil leaks to sort as well. So this fitting that you can see here is for the oil pressure gauge, and that's what was leaking last time, so I just need to get some PTFE around there and put that connection on, and then that leak should be sorted. So we've got the oil pressure fitting back on now, put the oil filter on, and then that side of the engine's all fixed. So we've got the oil leaks all fixed now, so now we just need to crack on, get some oil in the engine, start her up, let the thermostat open, then top up the coolant. We're all ready for the test drive now, so we'll get some fuel in. how we get on. I know what you're all thinking. Is that an IKEA bowl that I'm using as a filler? Yes, it is. There's the IKEA part number if you want to make your own. That's all done. Let's go for a drive. Now, as you've seen from the last video, we only mapped the car 6,500 RPM. So I've been advised obviously not to go over that, but I've got no self-control. So what we're going to do is just lower the rev limiter within the ECU system. So that is it going to focus. Limits, rev limit, it's currently at 7,500, so we'll just make that 6,500 so that it's all safe. So we've just packed up, just to have a rest, see how everything's going. In God's country, as you can see, best place in the world. All seems okay, do a couple of pictures, then we'll get it home and get it checked over. So we've made it home, no issues. Let's get on to getting some miles on it. See you in the next one.